Welcome, everyone, to the Flower Files podcast sponsored by Wildly Native Flower Farm. Here, everyone is welcome to talk with fellow flower lovers, including real perspectives from the farm, the flowers, and me, the florist.
From the messy day-to-day operations down to the details and even business perspectives, this podcast has a little bit of everything to keep it real. We know that life can get crazy and we don't always have the time to spend on what we love, so we are here to help you take a little time to indulge in nature. I'm Liza Getz.
I'm Lizzie Frey, and we are the team that makes this podcast. Every once in a while, we have a couple guests, this business thing, and what we are working with is called life.
Join us as we walk you through how to think outside the box, talk from the farmer's perspective, have honest conversations about florals, and how to run, well, life. So listen in.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, in the podcast section, and any of your other podcast platforms. You can also find us online at wildlynativeflowerfarm.com, and in an easy way, you can look in the show notes, and all of the information will be right there for easy access.
Well, hi guys, welcome back to the Flower Files, where we talk flowers, farming, and the business of blooming. I'm your host, Liza Getz, and today we're diving into one of probably the most important, but kind of the most confusing parts of building a business, which is branding and marketing. And I am so excited. I couldn't have a better guest today to help us unpack this other than none other than Christine Blasdale. Tell me I pronounced that right.
Very good. Yes.
Christine, you're a coach, a branding and marketing expert, and I feel like media personality, and you've helped so many entrepreneurs find their individual voice and grow their own reach and stand out in that crowded market where it feels like you're in a hurricane and everybody's shouting and it's like, hey, listen to me. I'm super excited that you're here. So welcome, Christine.
I am super excited too, because I want to cut through all of that overwhelm for people and to let them know that there is something very unique about them and their business. And we want to make sure we bring that out to the world. That's
Absolutely.
how you really differentiate your brand from someone else. And so we'll dive into that in this conversation. I'm very excited.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, for those of you who don't necessarily know, or maybe this is one of the first episodes that you're tuning into, I shared with Christine a couple minutes ago, I have a blue heeler at my heels. So I have the Australian dog. And Christine, what kind of dog do you have at your feet?
I have a toy poodle. A puppy toy poodle.
So the little bit of irony in this is I have the Australian dog and she has kind of the American dog, but where are we connecting from?
Well, I am based in New South Wales, not too far from Sydney, Australia. My wife found me on Instagram and stalked me many, many years ago, and here I am. So I left Southern California a few years ago, and now I'm a citizen here in Australia. So
love it. Love it. Anytime anybody says Sydney, all I can hear is Finding Nemo with Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
God bless.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask you to just take us on your journey. How did you end up where you are now?
I think I always wanted to be a teacher. There were a few people in my life, and one particular, Miss Floyd, who's still alive, and I'm a friend of hers on Facebook. She was a teacher who gave me such confidence, and I felt so at home being in her class, and I always wanted to be able to teach people in that same wonderful respect. She kept things fun. She kept things interesting. And she knew that we all learned it differently, right? Some of us are more visual. Some of us are more auditory. Some of us have to actually get our hands in the dirt, so to speak, and really,
I get that.
and really do the things, physically. So I saw that at a really young age. And then my mother, at a even earlier age, at like 4 or 5, she always let me know that my opinion mattered.
Mm.
And she would do that. But she was a single mom. My parents divorced when I was 2.
Mm.
And so I would be with her, and she'd be getting ready to go to work at night. She'd had to work late nights. And so she'd be putting on her makeup and getting dressed, and she would, before, she would get all that done, and she would say, Christine, how do you think I look? Is this okay? And I said, oh, I'm standing there, and I said, well, the that top is great, but the boots, I would get rid of the boots, and I would just tell her what my opinion
Mm.
was, and she would change. Now,
Interesting.
this is a grown ass woman who had impeccable style, by the way, but she would listen to my opinion and then actually change. So she
Mm.
told me at a really young age that she valued what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I was little, I'm very attentive to detail. So I'm that
Mm.
person that if I'm in a restaurant and there's a painting on the wall or a picture and it's just a little off, I'm the one who gets up and moves it.
And fixes it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
it.
That's me. That's me. I'm also the kid in class who always raises their hand when if the teacher does say something a little weird or confusing, I'm that
Why?
kid.
What was
Yeah.
that? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, who wrote that history? That kind of thing. I was so I had all of this as I was growing up, and I really wanted to be a teacher, and I went to college in San Diego, and was gonna I got my teaching credential and all
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that you do. But then I found out after I graduated how much they paid teachers and what you have to do for like 2 years. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, I need to, this girl needs to survive.
Yeah.
So I found other things that I could do that were like teaching. I was I was an aerobics. Remember, this is back in the day when, Jane Fonda and all that stuff was
Oh my
happening.
God. Love Jane Fonda and the leg warmers and the
So
reach and bounce.
I was one of those people. And I worked at an all women's gym. So I was a coach with that. And I really liked that one-on-one. And I liked that light bulb moment that people
Mm-hmm.
got when I was working with
You can
them.
see it in their face. I love
Yes,
that moment where it's like,
they
ah,
get it. They get it.
yes.
And
Yes.
so that was really wonderful, but it was there was something missing, right? I was like, it's all about the body and all about, and so I was doing some creative work and doing some writing. And then I was very lucky. America Online was looking for writers for their communities. But this is back in the day. The folks that don't know America Online, it used to be America Online was everything. That was
Yeah.
our Facebook and TikTok all rolled into one.
And
And it
Google.
was and Google,
Yeah.
YouTube, everything.
Everything.
So AOL was pretty big, and I got a great opportunity. I'm very grateful for that opportunity because I had an entertainment column to write. I got to go to all the press junkets and the celebrity, premieres, and do movie reviews and do interviews with actors and directors and things. And so that really helped my skills in communicating because I had to communicate to an audience, the demographics of which my editor at America Online said, Christine, you need to write for this audience. And I said, okay, great. Give me some guidance. And he's, well, everyone from 8 to 80. And I'm like, well, that's real specific. Okay. And so I did. And this is way before the Shrek movies, but you know Shrek, the Shrek movies.
Yes.
So if you've ever watched a Shrek movie, you understand that kids love it because of the characters and all of that fun stuff, but also adults love those movies too because there's a little nod to adult humor without being, too raunchy. So that's how I wrote. And I wrote through a cartoon character. As a matter of fact, it's kind of odd, but I did that for a while. And then 9/11 happened and I was really questioning what I was doing. I'm like, really, is this important in the great scheme of things? And I really wanted to do something with more purpose and to help people, and I didn't know what it was.
Serendipity.
Serendipity. So I started volunteering. And one thing led to another, this, that, and the other. And I was there for 20 years. I ended up.
Wow.
I was a producer and then an on-air host and then a fundraiser and was behind the mic for many, many years. And I loved it. I
Wow.
loved it because, and that's why I love podcasting.
Hmm.
And that's why I tell my clients, you should have a podcast. If you,
Yeah.
it's one of the best ways to reach people, and you can actually focus on the things that matter to you, like your show. You know, you're helping people in their business and giving them your wisdom and your expertise, but then bringing on other people. So
Yep.
it's just sort of morphed that way. And then the coaching came in because, again, I'm a born teacher. And so I saw a lot of people coming on the radio and a lot of people coming on podcasts that could use um, my guidance, my
Hmm.
suggestions, just like my mom when I would say, I don't that that website does not really convey the message, right? So I would help them in all those realms, you know, with website, with marketing, with writing copy, all those things. And I've been doing it for several years now, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Wow. 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 It's funny how what you think you're going to do in life and what happens in life doesn't always it doesn't always go exactly. Okay, when I get bigger, you ask a
Yeah,
little kindergartner, when you get bigger, what do you want to be? And some kids are, some kids have a very clear vision and they stick with that. And then there's, I feel like, the rest of normal people who are like, I think I
I
want to
don't
do
know.
this, but
I'm
I'm going to do.
5. How do I know?
I was
Right?
always like, my goal was always, I want to work outside. That's all I had for a long time. I want to work outside. And then other than that, it just, I was like, oh, I can grow things. Wait a minute. I can do this outside thing.
That's so
So
cool.
it's crazy how things sometimes fall into place and sometimes fall together.
Yeah.
And that being said, say you're one of those people who has things that fall into place and are coming together. And now suddenly you're standing there and you have a business. How do you stand out from the crowd? I think I saw a statistic the other day. Close to 90% of podcasts don't make it past the first, I think it's 10 episodes.
7 to 10 episodes. Yeah. That's
Isn't that insane? That's so like, you haven't even gotten
yeah.
wet. You haven't even started. And you're already, no, don't do that. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. But how do you do it? And how do you have a brand that stands out? What do you do?
Yeah. So I have, my clients are all over, scattered all over the world, and everybody, they all have, their own unique, of course, personality and expertise. But what I've found across the board, does not matter socioeconomically, does not matter where they live, does not matter what it is that they do. The number one thing that actually sort of holds people back from going after their dreams and really expressing who they are and differentiating themselves is that bit of imposter syndrome and
Mm,
comparison. They'll
mm,
compare themselves to other businesses and they'll go, well, I can't do that. Or the imposter syndrome will come in and it'll say, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, right? And that is one of the biggest killers of dreams. And it's the same thing when somebody starts up a podcast. They think that, like, well, I've built it, so people should come. Just because you built a website or you create a podcast does not necessarily mean that throngs of people are going to be finding you. You need to be consistent, just like your social
right,
media. You need to be
right.
there need to be a bit of consistency and utilize that tool for what it's meant to be. It is a great marketing tool, but also there's so much more. You get to meet amazing people, right?
Yes.
If
Yes.
there's people out there that you've always wanted to network with or collaborate with, it's a great way to bring them into your world. But I would say the thing that we need to do is we need to really niche down and for our brand figure out what differentiates ourselves. Now here's a story for you. In between when I was I think it was after I graduated. Yeah, after I graduated high school and I was going to college and I needed to have some different jobs, I worked for a florist. And
Hmm.
this florist was in Hollywood. And
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
yeah. And I actually worked for this incredibly talented gay man who
Hmm.
was very, very, had a lot of, his Rolodex was insane. all the celebrities and everything.
Wow.
And the name of his business was called My Son the Florist.
Oh my God.
Because his father was like, here's my son the florist, like like it was, but and it was an unusual, name for thing, but it was memorable. And once
Mhm.
you met him, he was indelible. I mean, your brain, you could never forget. His expertise and his style was gorgeous,
Mhm.
right? And that's
Mhm.
how he got a lot of his big named clients. But it was, he stood out already by just the name.
Yeah.
So being creative and thinking outside the box a little bit is
Mhm.
is a smart thing to do. But what I like to do is I like to sit down with people and say, let's work on your branding. Let's work on your name or your title. For the longest time, I was Christine Blosdale, podcast expert, Christine Blosdale, media coach. Nobody knows what a media coach is. They're going like, what the
Right.
heck? What the hell is that?
Right.
It took quite some time for me to come up with the expert authority coach, because
Mm.
that's actually what I do. Is I work on people's developing their expert authority, but more importantly, putting that in their messaging, right? So
Mm.
we might use a podcast to get that message across. We might use um, TikTok reels,
Mhm.
videos to get that message across. We might use a blog. We might use writing a book. I
Yeah.
I tell all of my clients, you need to write a book, and not a big book, just a little book, a tiny little book. It's a great marketing tool. And if
Mm.
it goes to number one, which I do some marketing, I do some campaigns for my clients. When you got a number one bestseller, that just moves you up in your expert authority, right? So
Yeah.
any of those awards, those contests that you've entered, um, any of those type of things, that helps your expert authority as well, and your brand, because people know that they can trust you. They're
Yes.
like, she's got follow through, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as when people say, well, my degree in college really didn't get me anywhere. No, what it tells future employees or employers, companies who might be interested in hiring you, is that you have follow through.
Mhm.
You could be dedicated to something and see it through.
You
It's
have
not even.
responsibility. You can show
Yes,
up on time.
yes,
You can, as you just said, have follow through. There's so many layers to what that piece of paper means,
yes,
as opposed to, well, I have a degree in this, but I'm actually doing this instead. Well, to me, that also always tells me that somebody is flexible and they're open to different opportunities. I don't ever
exactly.
see that as a negative.
And again, that really, and that's what it tells people and employers, right? So what we want to do is, with your brand, and I sit down with uh, every single client that I have now on retainer, that I work with regularly. They all started with a 30-minute discovery call, and in that discovery call, that's where I can look and see if the painting is off, right? That's where I can look and see if the outfit that you're going to be, and when I say outfit, I mean your brand, how
Mhm.
you show up.
Yep.
What does your website look like? Is it missing? You'd be surprised. I've worked with some people, and if they're a service-based industry, you can't find their email on the
Mhm.
website, or a phone number, or any way to contact them.
Right.
And I'll say, this is what's missing here. I don't know. Everything's in there. My bio, my photos of the thing. I say,
Yeah.
well, how do I reach you?
Yeah.
And they go, oh. So sometimes you need an outside person just to look at it from a bird's eye view. And so that's what we do in that 30 minutes. We break it down and go over everything. And if I find that there's something that we can pull out that would be memorable, like My Son the Florist or the
Mhm.
expert authority coach, then
Mhm.
we move in on that. And usually my clients will go, "Oh my god, that's perfect. Yes, that's it."
Mm.
And then if it's very unusual, we go through the process of having them trademark it, because once you have a trademark, um, your expert authority just goes through the roof. That
It
little
definitely.
TM,
Mhm.
it's not hard to do.
No.
It's a
No.
relatively easy process to do, but that little
Yep.
TM, oh, it's like being
It,
Coca-Cola or
yes.
McDonald's or whatever.
People take it more seriously.
Of course.
They understand. We went through that. So we have our regular floral line where we do all of the flowers and the weddings and all of the fresh and the funerals, all of those pieces. But we also have a culinary line that we have done a soft launch this year with, and we trademarked it because I mean it's a salt and sugar proprietary blend with florals infused.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's fun. But we trademarked it, and that the whole culinary experience, the whole process is unbelievable. It's unbelievable with all the different layers and things to it. And I was like, this is fun and this is great, but this is also unique. And as we expand the line, I was like, nope. So, and getting a UPC, oh my gosh, that's a whole
process.
Yes.
And all the
Yes.
legislation that you need to go through and all of
Oh,
that. Yeah, and
it's
and it's
crazy.
smart to protect it too. When
Yeah.
you have it
I don't
registered as a trademark, it's protected.
I don't want to do all of this work and have somebody who's 10 steps ahead of me, maybe in a culinary situation with a full, kitchen and all of that kind of stuff, go, oh, we can do that. That's no problem. And then
Yeah.
snatched. No, I was like, no, we are
This is
trademarking
ours.
this.
This is mine. 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 Mine.
Exactly. Exactly. So, no, it's, and we had to make decisions through that whole process. Where does that come from? So we have the Wildly Native, which is our brand for, again, all of our florals. But then we have the Petal Pantry, which is separate from the Wildly Native, to have that brand stand separate because it's not the same thing. It does come from a different layer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's smart. You're smart to do that.
Yeah, just trying to figure out all of those different pieces. But so if somebody is just starting with a business and they want to clear some of the white noise, because I feel like your logo is really important. You've got your name and you have your logo. And I feel like some people, when they first start, are kind of like, okay, check the box. I've done that. My marketing is finished. But there's and you teach this, there's so much more than that. Will you break down branding, explain branding and how it's a little different than just a logo?
Well, and not to get woo woo on you, but it's it's an energy.
100%.
And that energy is how people feel when they look at your logo or they look at your image. A lot of service providers, they focus on just a graphic.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to focus on the person because they are a service. It's about them. It's like if you're a chef, right?
Right.
Yes, it's about the amazing food that you can make, but it's really about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are the brand behind it. Look at Gordon Ramsay. Look at these amazing chefs and the huge empire that they built. It's because of Gordon Ramsay and his personality, right?
If you take Gordon Ramsay, Bobby Flay, and what's the other guy? Guy Fieri. If you take those three, they are three distinctly different styles, three distinctly different personalities. But you're right. At the end of the day, I don't want to say the mantra, but the title that they all carry is they're chefs.
Yes, exactly.
You're right.
But it's creating that memorable brand, which for some industries, it's the person, right?
Yeah.
So if you're, the thing is that if you're like a brick and mortar, if it's a pizza shop that you have,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is about the pizza, but there's a lot of pizza places around. So is it really about the pizza, or is there the possibility to have a story behind the pizza or the person who's making the pizza? And if you've got somebody who's from New York who knows, and let's say they're from New York and they know the importance of the water that you use in your pizza base, because of the
copper. The bagels.
And the bagels, because of the copper pipes, right?
Yep.
And they can say in their marketing, hey, I'm Tony from New York and I know pizza. and we installed copper pipes so that the dough on this pizza is going to be the best dough. That right away, you get a visual, right? You're like, they care. They know that it's about the water. 99% of people don't know that it's about the water. It really is.
It
Because
is.
the rest is just flour, I mean.
Yeah.
So if you're able to tap into that, bam, that is great. So the same thing as with, my son, the florist, who was just amazing. His whole branding was really brilliant. I like to sit with people and find out what makes them different and unique. And if we can market that, if we can play off of that, great. But it also depends on the personality. There might be somebody who's very shy, who's just like, you know what, I'm just really good at what I do when it comes to, let's say, the floral business, right? And I don't want to be the spokesperson. I don't want to have my face on anything. So then it's a different tactic, and we'll go about it in a different way. But it just depends on the person and the personality. Really, there's some people that I'm like, you've got to be center stage. You have to be center stage because of your personality.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And there's other people that you're probably like, okay.
No problem. We'll keep you, in the back. I've worked with authors, and there's some incredible authors who also have the gift of gab, and they can do well on podcasts, so they can not only write, but they can speak very well, communicate. But then there's others who they're very much in their head, and they're brilliant at writing and publishing their books, but they are not personalities that are super exciting to talk to. They're almost like talking to a robot, but they're not robots. And I'm not being mean here, but that's just not. So in those cases, we focus on the expertise. We focus on the book. We focus on using the material in that book to help people in whatever the book is about. But we focus on the book and the content of that instead of the author. Although the author is going to have to be, you're going to have to be seen in some way.
Yeah.
Because
you've got a back cover.
You've got a back cover. Exactly.
Well, it's interesting that you point out that the person, I feel like as social media has shifted and changed over time, I know the posts where I show my team or I do something that's heartfelt and it's honest and it's from us, those connect differently than the posts where it's like, hey, this is really pretty. Isn't it cool?
Yes.
So everybody has, hey, it's really pretty. Isn't it cool? But if you have the, hey, this is really pretty and we did this and you want to do this with us, it's just a different feel.
And your business is very visual too. So I would suggest in addition to seeing the final project, I love behind the scenes stuff. I love seeing the making of things. And you can shoot that with your phone. We got a film crew in our pocket. Shoot that with your phone, put it on speed it up, because it's going to be
nobody's going to want to sit there for 45 minutes.
No, exactly. But you can speed that up, and it's really cool to watch, and it's eye-catching. People will stop and they'll look at it. And obviously, if you're a local business, if you're a business that depends on local customers, you need to also know where to put your attention when it comes to social media. So
100%.
Obviously, something like that would be like Facebook, because you have your local community, all those different Facebook groups. That's more of your mom and pop kind of place to be for your potential clients and customers. But if you've got something very unique and you have a product that can be sold internationally or even just nationally, get on a TikTok.
Yep.
Get on a TikTok. And
but that's that whole algorithm. It's scary. What if we sell out and then we don't have it? And then
what a problem. What a problem. We sold out. And you do a video and you go, you know what? You people are so amazing. You responded in such droves that we're sold out.
Yeah.
You did this, you people.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah,
again.
exactly. You
Yeah.
do it again. I like that. Do it again. Keep
Or
doing
there's a
it.
wait list. Go to our website, go to don't even say www. Go to blah blah blah.com and get on the wait list
Yeah,
so that you don't miss out.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I feel like communication has changed so much.
Oh,
There's
yes.
so many different ways. And you're right. Anything that is local, we for a long time, social media, I mean, you've got Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook are kind of the five big ones. But if you make a thing, if you make a story, a reel, a post or whatever, then you have to sit back and look at it and say, okay, is this who's my audience? What am I trying to do? Sometimes it's just fun.
Yes,
The
exactly.
we did a
Exactly.
TikTok when that whole thing was, balance or whatever. The everybody was wearing heels and they were balancing and they were
Oh,
doing
right.
all
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
We actually did one where I was able to sit on top of a handle of a shovel and balance. It was funny. It was really funny. I hooked my yoga has paid off. I hooked one leg around the shovel. The the shovel had like a handle. It wasn't just like a regular stick
Right.
shovel, but I was able to sit on that and then I was able to balance. And what was more interesting was the behind the scenes one where I
Yeah.
was laughing and didn't want to pick up my second foot.
Right.
And
Right.
Kenley had just kept it going. If I had posted that on Facebook, people would have been like, what is wrong with her? What are you doing? If
Yes.
I posted that on LinkedIn, oh, that would have been so unprofessional. If I, I mean, so Instagram, I feel like sometimes people understand a little bit more, but that was
Yeah.
clearly designed for TikTok.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And
know your audience.
know your audience, know where they are, and know the platform.
Yes.
Like just like you said, LinkedIn is great for, and I had a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn for many years. I'm warmly we're dating now. No. But LinkedIn, I know now. See, it was because I was using it wrong. I
Yeah.
was using it wrong. So LinkedIn is great for networking and collaboration, right? With
Yes.
people of you in your field, right?
Yes.
People that you want to have in your field. Um, but that TikTok. Now, here's a suggestion for you. I know that a lot of florists too, and this is something we like to show the final product and how pretty everything is.
Yep.
But I know because I worked at a florist for a while that the day starts bloody early.
It does.
And a day in the life of a florist
Mhm.
would be so cool
Yeah.
to show you getting up when it's dark and it's
Yep.
cold and how you rug up, how you dressed, and if you
And
grab a
wet.
coffee
Don't forget the wet. Dear
and wet.
God, we're flower farmers. I am wet year round.
So
Oh,
take your phone out, and if you have to put a light on because it's so dark out, put a light on it. But just show people the behind the scenes. This is
yeah.
this is what I do. This is how
This
I
is the
do it.
reality.
This is the
Yeah.
reality, exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's, to me, that's something that's really interesting, and people will be endeared to you. And that's what we want to do with all of my clients that I work with. We want to get that authenticity and
Mhm.
relatability. Now, can people relate to going out in the cold, wet, at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time everybody gets up? Probably not. Like they can't really go, oh, I've done that before, but they can understand the strength that it takes to get
Yes.
up, and to do it. But then the process, and it's like, this is what I do so
Mhm.
that my customers can get
Have this.
yes.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's a
Absolutely.
very interesting social media, series that you can do, post that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to shift us just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you I guess a slightly different spin on it. But what are some of the top mistakes that you see people make that you either when you're having a consult or even if you're scrolling yourself? What are things that are immediate like, ooh, don't do that?
Yes. Okay. So, really, The big one for me is when people don't have a website that is productive and really showcases who they are and what they do. A lot of times, as solopreneurs or small business owners, we think that everybody knows exactly what we do because we know it's in our head. Well, I can do this and I can do that, and I specialize in this. Well, if that's not communicated properly on your website, then people are not going to know that you offer. They're not going to know to ask for those things. The other thing is that a lot of times websites are boring. There all this text. There's maybe one little picture in there, no pictures of who owns the business or who's behind the creativity of those things. It's just text, blank, boring text. I like to say when you create a website, I want to see a video right away at the top of the fold, right away. Welcome to our farm. Hi, I'm so and so. Welcome to our farm. Hi, I'm Christine Blasdell. I'm your expert authority coach. This is what I can do for you. Blah 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 blah. And make it short. Does not have don't go long. It could be a minute if that. Right? So it's like creating a reel or a TikTok.
It's your elevator pitch.
It's your elevator pitch.
That's
right? And I can't tell you how many websites I go to. There's none of that. There's not even an about me section or anything like that where you can learn about the company or the people behind it. So really having a really kick-ass website is important, and a lot of businesses don't do that. The other thing is for those who decide to, let's say, use a podcast as a marketing tool, and this is a big no-no. When I hear someone start off and it's I, me, then they lose me, right? You need to think about what your customers and clients, what they actually need, not what you want, your ego wants to put out there. And this is a game changer for a lot of businesses that I work with, where we actually go in and I'll look at their services or the products that they offer, and we'll flip it. We'll flip the script. And I'll say, is this what people really need and want? Or are you just really comfortable offering that service, and so you're trying to push it out there? And I did that for a long time. My bread and butter was helping people create a podcast, right? I had a 4-week program. We went through the legal stuff, the music, the cover art, how to record, how to edit, how to publish, how to market it, all those things. And especially during COVID, it was a huge business for me. But then it started to wane off, and I was like, what am I? And I kept trying to put that out there. I kept trying to say, create a podcast. I kept trying to push that. And when I came to the realization that majority of my clients, that's not what they need. And when I switched up my services to actually provide relief from their overwhelm and to address their issues, their pain points, what they actually need and want, it changed the game.
Yeah.
So that's really important to think about. Yeah.
It's the listening. It's definitely the listening.
Exactly.
And that makes all the difference. It really, really, really does. Okay. Yeah. So if someone is listening today and they want action that they can do today, what are 3 things that they could do this week to improve their brand and marketing?
Well, let's start off with that branding video on your website. You can record on Zoom. Everybody's familiar with Zoom since COVID. Oh my goodness. Record on something like Zoom if you want. You can do it on your phone, but the phone is vertical. So you want to have it be horizontal, like a YouTube video type thing. And once you've created that, you can also even post that on YouTube as well and put a description in there, right? So that's something that's important. The other thing is, especially if you're a business that relies on local clients and customers, make sure you have they used to call it Google My Business page. Now I think it's Google Maps. Make sure that you have one. And if you don't, you need to, because when people are in your town or they're visiting your city and they're looking for a service or a particular thing, they need to have a florist in that region, then they're going to pull it up on Google and you want to make sure, that
You
you're
better
there.
be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the third thing? Utilize the marketing tools that are available, especially with technology now. It's amazing, that you're most comfortable with or that you really love doing. And I say that meaning some people, they're great on video. So
Hmm.
then start shooting more video. Video to me is king, queen. It's just so important because people
Hmm.
get to see you and
Yes.
build up that
It
trust factor
connects.
and
Yeah.
connect. But let's say you have a wealth of information and knowledge that you could put into a small guide, right? A book or a guide. You can even offer that as a lead magnet, right? The
Mm.
10 things you could do today to improve your garden, or the 10 foods you should be eating to live to 100,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that little guide, you're going to just write it in a Word doc. It does not, it's just a couple pages. Turn it into a PDF, throw it up if you want to as a free gift to
Hmm.
bring people into your world. But it tells people that you are an expert and you're giving them something.
Hmm.
You're generous, right? And that
Yes.
generosity, trust me, it comes back. There is no scarcity mindset when you really tap into that success because you realize that there's plenty for everyone. So you don't
Exactly.
have to worry about what your competitors are doing. And they're
No.
not even your competitors, they're your colleagues. So when you,
And I
yeah,
think that's one of the biggest things, that there's so many different schools of thought, and I feel like people sometimes don't understand. I would rather help somebody, work with somebody, and put my brain with their brain, and come up with, hey, this is really neat, we can do this, or you want to do this and I want to do this, instead of, oh, nope, this is mine and this is you. No, no, let's I don't know, it's flowers, it's business, it's fun. I would love to take the scary out of having real conversations about money, about being a female business owner. It's okay to have some of those conversations, but sometimes people are just afraid to have them.
well, and afraid again, like it's especially in coaches, in the industry of coaches. My goodness, there's like a gazillion coaches.
Hmm.
Are there coaches that can help people with social media? Yes, thousands and thousands of them. Are there coaches who can help people with their podcast? Of course, yes. But what I always say, and I say this to my clients, and I say, reflect this on yourself. There is no one like you. There is no one that has your unique imprint. And so while there are other media coaches out there, and social media coaches and business coaches, there's nobody like myself, right?
Right,
That has the background of 20 years in broadcasting. So I know what is a good story or a good sale, a good pitch, right?
right,
Um, all those years working for America Online, all those years struggling and learning things and failing and messing up and coming back and getting it right, all those years, that's something that's unique to myself.
hmm,
So you want to, for your business, you also want to realize that your own uniqueness, your own authenticity, when you can express it, people will come and use that platform that you feel is best, that connects to your customers and your clients. That's really, really important. Don't spend a bunch of time on some platform that is that they're not there. Let's put it that way.
no, no. And if you're not comfortable with it, that's going to come across.
Oh, absolutely. And
For
the
sure.
scarcity mindset, that the scarcity stink, I call it the scarcity stink. It
Yeah.
is, you can feel it, you can smell it, and people will run. Nobody wants to jump aboard the Titanic as it's going down.
No.
And
No,
nobody
they
is,
they want to jump on the airplane that you're building in flight because it's going so fast that you have to try to figure out how to catch up. You want to catch that. You don't
yes,
want to. No sinking.
no sinking. No. And because, and if it's a business, people, you want people to give you money in exchange for
Yeah.
what, a product, a service.
Yes.
So if you're telling them on one level, even without saying it, but they can feel it, that you're struggling, again, nobody's going to trust you with
No.
their money to come through with that particular there's going to be doubt. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
And that doubt mindset is not good. That's why you want reviews and testimonials. And if you written testimonials on your website or your social media are great, but if you can get a client or a customer to do a video, say 30 seconds. Hey, Susie, would you do me a favor? I know you loved the thing that we did for you. Would you mind just on your camera, just saying a few kind words about what you experienced? That would be so helpful. People do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they understand the power of that. And that
how it works.
is what you use on your website, social media, and things like that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, Christine, this has been incredible.
I had such a good time too. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I looked up and was like, oh my gosh, it's been 45 minutes. How did that even happen?
Well, you can always have me back. I'm just saying.
Okay, good. Good. Just thank you for breaking down and making it digestible. It's clear, it's approachable, and it's truly appreciated because I feel like it's such a big piece. Big piece.
Thank you.
If my listeners wanted to connect with you and learn more or snag that 30-minute session with you, how do they find you?
Well, they can book that. It's free, absolutely free. The discovery call with me where we can go over their brand and their business. And they can do that by going to expertauthoritycoach.com. There's a big button there and it says book my free call. You can click on that. Or if you want to go directly to my booking calendar and reserve a spot today, you can go to chatwithchristineb.com. But again, they can go find all of that stuff at expertauthoritycoach.com, as well as all the podcasts that I have, the books, all those different things. They can find it all there.
Which is your favorite way of showing up?
My favorite way? I'm just a little creator. It's funny because I love writing books. I've got 5 out now.
Wow.
And I love also doing the audiobook version. And I have not done the audiobook version for the latest book that I've done, the Social Media and Branding Survival Guide. And I'm going to be doing that soon.
Because and your voice is pleasant and that matters. I'm a huge audiobook person, and if the audiobook voice is not good, I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
No. And you get a little sample. When you hear the sample, you're like, yes or no.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's a funny read as well, so it gives you some really good tips and strategies that I use, and it's very fun. I got somebody a client of mine a new client. She said she read the book. I didn't know she bought the book. She read the book and she said, "Can I tell you, it is funny and I get you and it's you in a book." And I said, "Oh my God," it was the biggest compliment I ever could get, because I said, "You get it. You get the humor, but you also get the strategies." And she said, "Yeah, it made it fun." And I was like, "Okay, that made me feel great." So so that's the next thing I want to do. I keep creating. I'm just a little creation machine. So
I love it. I love it. All right. So I'm going to take all of those notes, or I'm going to take all of those links, and we will link that in the show notes.
Great. Thank you. Yes.
To all of my flower friends out there, remember, your brand isn't just your logo. It's basically the story that you tell every time experiences your business. And in our case, maybe our flowers. But thank you for tuning into the Flower Files. And as you know, until next time, keep blooming.